we are back with Malania. She was in 4th grade with Mrs. Webb and shared that class with Devin. And she is going to be telling us a little bit about her experiences with reading in this classroom. Malania, will you tell me, how do you feel about reading yourself? Do you like reading or do you not like reading?
I really like reading.
Okay, what are some of your favorite books and series or genres that you really enjoy reading?
My favorite genre is adventures. And my favorite book is The Best School Year Ever.
Do you have a favorite author? Is there somebody that you really like to read books by?
Mo Williams.
Oh, okay. So tell me about one of your favorite Mo Willems book.
Piggy Party or something like that.
Yeah, what is that book all about?
Well, where Piggy was, it's like the day of the piggy, and where all of all of the elephants' friends and Piggy's friends dress up as pigs, and the elephant thinks that they're all pigs and they're having a party, and then the elephant's sad, and then the elephant all their friends pop off the pig heads, and he's like, oh yeah.
That is such a good story. I love the Mo Willems book. I used to teach 1st grade, and I would read some of those books to my students, and they always thought they were so good. Can you tell me a little bit about Mrs. Webb? Was she somebody who enjoyed reading, and did you see that from her as a teacher? Did you see that she liked to read?
Yes.
How do you know that she really liked reading? What kinds of things did she do or say that helped you to understand that she loves reading?
She has a book tattoo on her, and then she says she really likes reading, and she has a library in her house.
Wow. Did you ever talk with Mrs. Webb about books that she liked to read?
Not really.
Did you ever hear her sharing about books that she was reading at home? Did she tell you about that at school?
Yes.
What kinds of books do you think she spent most of her time reading?
Well, like grown-up books, mysteries.
Oh, she liked mysteries. Mm-hmm. That's excellent. So did you feel like you could talk to Mrs. Webb about the books that you were reading and that you would have a good conversation with her about those kinds of books?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about your classroom. What kinds of things were done in your classroom to help you know that reading was important to your teacher?
There's a mini library. There's like you had book centers and stuff like that.
Do you have any favorite memories from reading in her classroom or experiences with books in her classroom? Anything that stands out to you?
Well, I really love chapter books, and she has a lot of adventures in the chapter books, so I really like those too.
That's awesome. What kinds of stories did your friends enjoy reading?
Well, some of my friends liked mysteries, and then others liked fantasy. So.
Did you have any friends that didn't really like reading?
A lot.
What would you tell them if you could tell them anything about reading? What would you say to try and tell them that reading is awesome?
I'd say reading is awesome.
Is there anything that you would want them to try to start liking to read?
Well, there's this one picture book that is Nibbles the Book Monster. It is really fun, and I think they would like it a lot.
Did that book help you start to like reading, or do you remember what books really helped you to start like reading?
The Magic Tree House and that book.
Have you read all of those books, the Magic Tree House books?
Not all of them, but I've read some.
There are so many good ones. I want to ask you a little bit about some of the things that Mrs. Webb did in your classroom. I heard that she did picture books every Friday in 4th grade. Is that true?
Yes. She even hanged them up on the wall, so we could remember what they're called and read them again.
Did you do any activities with those picture books or anything really exciting with them?
Well, like there's like this one where like we got a bunch of marshmallows and made like creatures and stuff like that.
Were they from the book, or was it like connected to the book like that?
Like there was like this one creature, like one guy, like it was like the dream, like a dream one, where like their imaginary friend. And then we made others. I made an octopus.
Oh, that's so awesome. Do you feel like the class altogether really enjoyed Picture Book Fridays?
Yes.
Okay. What was it that the students really liked about Picture Book Fridays?
The activities, and like some were crafts, some were just games.
So there was always something connected to the book that reminded you of the story but was really exciting and fun for you to do?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Malania, can you tell me a little bit about how at the end of the year, Mrs. Webb provided you with an activity about forts? I think you read a book about forts, is that right? Can you tell me about that?
Yes, where like there's like a bunch, like you made forts and then you'd read inside of them.
She said that if you were reading super quiet all day, something would happen. Do you remember what that was?
Wait, no.
No, I think she said that you wouldn't have to do any chores. Did that happen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got out of doing chores. Were you reading most of the day?
Yeah.
What kinds of books did you feel like you'd like to read the most?
There's like mysteries of like the monsters and a mansion and stuff like that.
That's excellent. And then also at the end of the year, I know Mrs. Webb had an activity for you guys to do while you were home because of COVID. And it had to do with little libraries. Can you tell me all about that experience and what the lesson was like and how that went for you?
Well, the lesson was like they're like making like he made a little library so other people could read the books he liked, and like it like and then for the activity we went to find some little libraries.
Did you find any near where you lived?
Well, like it was like across the street, Redwood Road.
Wow, so you found a couple little libraries nearby. Mrs. Webb said you found like 5 of them. Mm-hmm. That is amazing. Did you think of putting books in there for other students to read or other people to read, or did you look through the books and select any to read for yourself?
Well, I would have, but then we didn't have any books to put in it, so.
Would you ever enjoy arranging and setting up your own little library for people to come and choose books from?
Yes.
I think that would be a really, really awesome goal going forward, something that you could work on and share with others. Tell me about your experiences with Battle of the Books.
Oh, yes. Well, I really like memorizing the names of the authors. I always memorize the last name, mm-hmm. and I like reading the books. There's a lot of really fun ones.
Yeah. Did you competed in Battle of the Books in 3rd grade, right? Mm-hmm. Did you do it last year? Oh, that's right. Last year they had it canceled because of COVID, right?
Yeah.
So you and I heard Devin were reading some of the books, and there was one called Bear Stone. Mrs. Webb said it was not a very good book. Can you tell me about what happened?
Well, like there's like a little guy, like a teenage boy that was like from India, like an Indian, and he was just like, he helped the old guy with his farm, and then one time he got mad at the old guy, and then chopped down his cherry trees. The old guy was very mad. And then like they went to a mine, and then they mined, and then he left, and there's like these hunters that are hunting for like brown bears or something, where they're extinct. They're like almost extinct, and then they were like, and they weren't supposed to hunt them, and so they made them he found out about that, and then he and then he came back to the old guy, and the old guy was trapped under a rock, and there was a helicopter coming down because the hunters got a brown bear, and then he got the old guy out off from under the rock, and then he went with a horse down to the woods where the helicopter was coming, and then he saved the old guy.
Wow. You have amazing comprehension of that story. I can tell that you really remembered it. And I find that so interesting because I remember Mrs. Webb saying that nobody really enjoyed reading that story. But she said that you persevered and that you kept reading even though you weren't really enjoying the story too much. Kind of boring at the beginning. Yeah. So sometimes when we're reading stories and we come across one that is boring and we keep reading it and we still feel like it's boring, it's hard to know what to do. I know that Mrs. Webb kind of had feelings about that in her classroom. Did she always let you choose new books in the classroom even if you didn't like the one that you were reading?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you feel like you had a lot of choices of what you could read in her classroom?
Mm-hmm.
That is so great. If you had anything to tell friends who aren't really sure about reading and aren't really sure if they want to do it, what would you tell them? What advice would you give your friends?
I'd say just try one book. If you don't like it, you could just do another one. If you don't like that one, just do another one.
Thank you. That's so great. Thank you, Malania, for coming and telling us about your experiences with reading in Mrs. Webb's classroom. We really appreciate it, and I hope that the students who haven't figured out how to love reading can learn from your example and try some new books and see what they like. So thank you.